rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalam ala khatimin nabiyyin nabiyana Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa ashabi ajma'in. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi zidni ilma. Rabbi zidni ilma. Rabbi zidni ilma. Okay, inshallah, very quickly we'll recap what we learned in the last session and then continue our today's lesson, inshallah. So last time we started with ayat number 7. Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in ayat number 7, Kalla innal kitab al-fujjari lafi sijjin. No, indeed, the record of the wicked is in prison. We have discussed this before. Yeah, the word kalla, no, not at all, is meant to express the erroneous notion of the addressees mentioned above, having no fear of the advent of the day of accountability and reward and punishment, in which the righteous will be distinguished from the wrongdoers. The word fujjar, fajir and fajr, this is from the same root. Yeah, all these words means to tear through. Fajr is dawn, is called fajr because the morning light tears through the darkness of the night. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling that you might do all these forms of rebellion and tearing through his forbidden boundaries, but everything you do has been written in a record. Then in ayat number 8, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Wama adraka ma sijjin. And what can make you know what is sijjin? In Surah Infitar, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Wama adraka ma yamuddin. And what will make you know what the day of recompense is? Now, there is extra emphasis on the worst criminals. Wama adraka ma sijjin. And what can make you know what is sijjin? You don't scare the criminal by the court, you scare him by the extremely horrible prison. In ayat number 9, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Kitabun markhum. It is their destination record in a register inscribed. This record is documented by noble, trustworthy angels, Kiramul Katibin, as mentioned in Surah Infitar. We are going to see, inshallah. But this record is given further description, that is marhum, to write something in thick and clear writing, to imprint it so it cannot be erased. This term is also used to stitch embroidery onto clothing, that is rakhama, because once it is stitched, it cannot be removed easily. This data will not only be written accurately by trustworthy angels, but it will also be unerasable. It cannot be removed. Then in ayat number 10, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Wailun yawmaidhin lil mukazzibin. Destruction that day to the deniers. The addressees are warned that they should not be deceived by the fact that if today no one is calling them to account, that no one will ever will. Once the day of reward and punishment arrives, those who rejected it will be doomed. On that day, they will see that neither were any of their words and deeds left out from the record, nor is there any way of being shielded from doom. While or whilun, ultimate destruction, great sorrow or distress. Threat of destruction is again mentioned in this ayah, except it is specific to the deniers, but deniers of what? In ayat number 11, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Allazina yukatibuna biyawmiddin, who lied against the day of recompense. Destruction, that day to the deniers, who lied against the day of recompense. In ayat number 10, 11, and 12 of this surah, all mention of the words, kadib, lying against the religion in different form. For example, yukadibu, yukadibuna, mukadibin. So we see that the root cause of the people who cheat in business due to their lying against the day of recompense. This is one of the reasons why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is cursing them. That is why he is ultimate destruction. You lie against the day of recompense, and this is why you cheat people. Inshallah, today we are going to start from ayat number 12. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Wama yukazzibu bihi illa kullu mu'tadin asim. And none deny it except every sinful transgressor. So let's first look at the word for word translation. Then inshallah, we'll go to the ayah itself. Wa is and conjunction particle. Al-waw atifa. So this is ayat number 12 is joining ayat number 11. Yeah, it's like subject matter is flowing. Ma is none. This is harfu nafi, negation particle of negation. Yeah. Yukadibu, deny, imperfect word, fail, mudare. Bihi, of it, jar majroor construction. Yeah, that is preposition and pronoun. Illa is except, restrictive particle, azatu hasar. It is putting a boundary around the word. Yeah. Kullu is every. Yeah, kullu is every. This is noun is marfu. Mu'tadin is transgression. Yeah, transgressor, every transgressor. That is majroor, noun. Asim is sinful. This is adjective. On top of mu'tadin is asim. Yeah. So every transgressor sinful. Allah has added one extra adjective. Sifa majroor. We'll see why, inshallah. So let's go to the explanation of ayat number 12. وَمَا يُكَذِّبُ بِهِ إِلَّا كُلُّ مُعْتَدٍ أَثِيمٍ. And none deny it except every sinful transgressor. In this ayah, the type of people who are the most active in denying the day of judgment is identified. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this ayah is telling these people are not just sinful. People can commit many types of sins, major and minor, whatever type of sins. But On top of that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that Mu'tadin Asim. This is a sinful, and also he is transgressor. You know, he is transgressing all the boundaries set by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that kind of sinner. The implication of the ayah is that no person can dare deny this day who has even the slightest semblance of justice and mercy in him. See, this is in human nature. Yeah, in our human innate nature, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put. Everyone, every son of Adam, he wants justice. Yeah. So nobody can deny that, oh, I don't want justice. Nobody can say that. Yeah. If something goes wrong against you, your family, your friends, or somebody you know, if somebody is doing injustice against that person, you don't like it. Yeah, you don't like it. This is in our innate nature. Now, sometimes, you know, we are very weak. Sometimes you can fight for the justice. Sometimes it's not possible. Or maybe you have tried, but you failed. Why? Because the aggressor, you know, the transgressor who is against you is more powerful than you. 10 times, 100 times, he is more powerful. What are you going to do? Particularly in this dunya, you are going to lose the fight. You are going to lose your stand. Then what happened? You don't want justice? Everyone say, yes, I want justice. Even though I did not get the justice in the dunya, sometime, somewhere, I must get the justice. This is in our innate nature. So what if you don't get the justice? People who believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, people who believe in some kind of God, they pray to that God and say that I want justice. No, God will not come onto the land and give you the justice. No, that will not happen. But on the day of judgment, you will get definitely your justice. And that justice is absolute. It's absolute. Yeah. For example, if a transgressor, if a horrible person, he had killed 100 people. In the dunya, maximum he can get one death penalty or one life sentence. It's just one. But what about the 99 he has killed more or more than that? How are you going to punish? So these people will never get justice, absolute justice in the dunya. So therefore, there have to be a day. On that day, the God will come and he will do the justice, and that justice will be absolute justice. Okay, so this is in our innate nature. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling here, that this is in innate nature. But to go against the innate nature, to go against the God, and that person will be really, really horrible person. Every person's own nature testifies to such a day of accountability, and no external evidence is required for its proof. Yeah, automatically it will come to your mind. Look, somebody, he was aggressor to me. I can't fight with him. What happens to me? When am I going to get the justice? And until his last breath, he did not get the justice. But that's not proper. He should get the justice. When? So a day has to come. On that day, God will do the absolute justice. Everyone believes this, whether they're believers, non-believers, everybody believes. Denying is something different. So those people who deny the day of judgment, they are the Mu'tadin and Asim. A person can just see its reflection in the mirror of his heart. However, people whose heart is defiled by the rust of transgression are unable to envision or envisage it. This is true, because whenever people they commit the sin, the heart will get rusted. Yeah, 1 dot, 2 dot. When the whole heart is corroded, is full of rust, he cannot see the reality. He cannot see his own innate nature. So thus, is just condition, the person will never believe on the day of judgment. And who will lie against it except Mu'tadin, the violators of others' rights, and Asim, there is a yad here at the, after, Sa. Asim is continuous sinner. That means he is a habitual sinner. It's not like, look, everybody does sin. We all, do sins one time or the other. But Asim is something who is doing the sin on a regular basis, on a continual basis. And when he does that, he gets a brand. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put a brand on him that he is not just, sinner, he is a continuous sinner. Yeah, he is a Asim, he is Mu'tadin and Asim. Mu'tadin is from the word Aitada, violating someone's right, wronging the people, a bully who crosses his limits. Now, this Aitada, violating someone's rights, it can be Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's rights also. Allah Ta'ala has got all the rights upon us. He is our Rabb. Yeah. And we are his slaves. So he has got all the rights. If somebody is violating the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or his creation, he will become Aitada. This is from the word Mu'tadin. Yeah, comes. Asim is from the word Ism, commonly translated as sin. In the original form, it's an attitude which prevents one from doing good. Some people by nature, to do something good is like, taking the skin off their noses. It is so difficult for them to do something good or to say something good. It's really, really, really difficult for that person. So that person is Asim. In Surah Baqarah, ayat number 283, is it said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَإِنَّهُ أَسِيمٌ قَلْبَهُ. For surely his heart is asim, sinful, unable to do any good. So you see here now in this ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, so ism is primarily in the heart. Yeah, when you say in the heart, in the mind also. Yeah, because heart controls everything in the body. We have discussed this before. There are two types of heart. One is a physical heart, yeah, which is pumping blood in our body. The other one is a metaphorical. That means this heart, they say that the ruh is also in it. This heart is controlling our whole body. Whatever actions we do, good or bad, it is controlled by the heart. When we say the hadith, innamal amalu binniyat, so the reward of deeds is based upon the intention. And where is this intention? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was pointing to his heart and he said, Huna, it's here in the heart. So therefore, heart is the controller of the body. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying in ayat number 283 of Surah Baqarah that this heart, the person's heart who is Muqtadin and Asim, it is primarily in his heart. So, Kullu Mu'tadin Asim, every sinful transgressor. So these are worst of the worst. These people will deny the day of judgment. You can see even today, if you see really, people who are dictators, people who are horrible criminals, they don't believe in the day of judgment. If they believe, that definitely I have to go. Belief is something different. Yeah, belief has got various, you can say, stages or degrees. If there are many Muslims, they believe, yeah, the day of judgment is there. Yes, it is there. But Will they change their attitude? Some of them they don't. So what that means is they believe theoretically, not practically, not really. So that's why they are not changing their attitude. If they truly believe on the day of judgment, I have to stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and I have to give account to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on every day, then this person's attitude will change, his life will change. The Muqtadin Asim, he is a worst sinner because he lies whenever he speaks. He breaks his promise whenever he makes them, and he behaves in an abusive manner whenever he argues. This is, somebody like the Munafiqeen. There's a hadith. In this hadith, the meaning of the hadith is goodness, that is al-bir, is what satisfies, relax yourself. That is your nafs. And ism is what you eat away your heart. Eat away in the sense, not physically eat away, because the sinful person, until his die, his physical heart is going to be there. But the metaphorical heart with which he is controlling the body, it is already dead. Another thing we have learned this, that inside the heart, Allah has put the ruh, which is like a light, in every son of Adam. Every son of Adam, he has got that light. So as long as the light is, it's a light, they can see the reality. But if they continuously do the sin, this is like a lamp. The flame is there inside, the flame is always there. Yeah, it's there. But you cannot see the light because the cover, the glass cover, is completely dark. Now this is creating two problems. Problem number one, the light which is inside the glass, inside the glass, which is in the lamp, it is not giving light outside. The second problem is the light which is coming from outside, that is from the Quran and Sunnah, this is not penetrating inside the heart. You see, that has become so black, that has become so dark, it has become so rusty. The light is not coming from inside, the light is not going inside. So this person is, metaphorically completely in darkness. If a person persists in the characteristic of ism or asim, he will become asim. First he was doing ism, that is sin, he was committing sins. Then finally he will become asim. This person is stuck in that state. So how do you get rid of this, ism or the spots or the rest? You have to do tawbah. We'll see that inshallah. Every chance he gets to do evil, he does so. Every chance he gets to do good, he pushes away. He will become so involved in this because he's seeing a lot of benefit coming from it. Whether he's killing people, taking their money, cheating them, taking their money. So now he has got a lot of wealth from all the sins he's committing, or selling alcohol, whatever types of sins he's doing, and he's getting a lot of benefit from that. Therefore, he does not want to give up easily. He does not want to give easily. This is the worst type of soul. Yeah. So what is the soul doing? Ma khaddamat wa akharat. In Surah Infitar, ayat number 80, ayat number 5, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, what it has put forward and has left behind. And he has done all evil and sent forward and left behind is evil. Said this person, he has done a lot of crimes. he has done a lot of sins. And they're all going forward. How it is going forward? They are all written in the books. Kitab al-Fujari. It is written in the book. And this book is going to Sijji, into the prison. So this is how he's sending all the bad records into Sijin. This is what he has put forward. That is for the day of judgment. And what has he left? All his property, all his legacy, all his troubles he has created, all his sins he has passed on to his children, passed on to his followers, and they are continuously doing the same thing. So when they are doing the sins, when they are doing bad things, he is equally getting the share from that. So imagine a person who has sent all the bad deeds into his account, and what he has left, all the earning from that is again a sin. So he has put forward and left what is all sins. So that's why he has permanently got a seal from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he is Asim. He is a regular, continuous sinner. People who become used to usurping the rights of others and do not discharge the rights of others imposed on them, they try to find out some way to evade reward and punishment so that their conscience is not pricked by their injustices mentioned in this ayah. If somebody goes and, first of all, if a person is such a bad sinner, people, they don't like to talk to him. Because if they talk to him, either he will give a mouthful or physically he will start abusing them. So people are scared of such people. If somebody, he gathers the courage and goes and talk to him or fights with him, and he says that, are you not afraid of Allah? Are you not afraid of God? Don't you believe on the day of judgment? Whatever you are doing, do you think you will escape? He will say, judgment? What judgment day? I don't believe in any such thing. I'm a strong man, I'm a rich man, I can do whatever I want. Get lost. This is their attitude. So, in Surah Qiyamah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, in ayat number 14 and 15, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Balil insanu ala nafsihi basira. No doubt man against himself will be a witness. That's also true. When he is committing the sin, sometimes you may commit sins without knowing. Yeah, but if you become a continuous sinner, that means you are guaranteed, you know what you are doing. So you have got the basira, you are the witness of your own sin. On the day of judgment, you cannot argue. Your lips will be zipped, sealed. You cannot speak, and the body parts will speak. What is he going to do? He's helpless. On the day of judgment, in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this person is helpless. He cannot speak. He cannot say, no, I did not do it. He cannot. The body parts will tell Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he used me for this sin. The legs will say, he used me for this sin. So he has got, no way. So he is a witness on his own deeds. In next ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Walau alqa maziru. Even if he presents his excuse, he can't. It's too late. The shocking thing is that such business cheating occurs among our own relatives. And when you warn them against this, he will say, what he will say, it is coming in the next ayah. We see this. So this kind of small cheating, we are not talking about big cheating. The whole surah, the whole surah is revolving about Mutafifeen. Yeah, the whole surah is dedicated to Mutafifeen. Those who cheat a little bit. Allah is not talking in this surah about big cheatings, you're committing sins, you're doing, adultery. No, Allah is not talking about murders. No, Allah is talking in this particular surah is about small cheating. Small cheating. Whatever job you're doing, in that job, your profession, you are cheating a little bit. And what do we say? That's okay. It's only a small bit. That's okay. No, that's not okay. Allah says that's not okay. How can we say that's okay? So this is what happens. In ayat number 13, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answers. Allah says, Iza tutla alayhi ayatuna khala asatirul awwaleen. When our ayat are recited to him, he says tales of the former people. Okay, let's look at the word for word translation first, and then we'll go to the ayah. The first word is Iza. Now, Iza is when, time adverb, but this is a shart also. There is a condition. There is a shart. What is the shart? When, when you are recited or you read the ayah, so you tell him the ayah. So that's the condition. The when is there. When, if when comes, then also comes. Yes, so tutla. Tutla is, or recited, passive, imperfect word, fail, mudare, mabni, lil majhul. What that means? It can be recited by anybody. It can be recited by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Sahaba, Tabain, Tabain, or anyone, anytime. When they recite the ayats of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, you please remember, we have to understand the word ayat. Yeah? Ayat means it's not just the lines in the Quran Majid, the line by line. It's not just that. Yeah, that's also one of the meaning. The meaning is the signs, signs, the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the realities, the facts. All these are included in the word ayat. Yeah, tutla are recited again and again and again in various forms. If you recite alayhi, unto him. Yeah, so alayhi is jar majrur construction, preposition and pronoun, and ayatuna, this is mudaf and mudafun ilayhi also. So ayatu is marfu and na is damir muttasil, but this is mudaf and mudafun ilayhi. Ayat of ours. Yeah, ayat of ours. That is our ayat. Yeah, okay. This is what I wanted to explain this. The Hamza, Ya, and Ya is used for the word ayah. This is the root. Yeah. So the root has got many, many meanings. Many meanings. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given hundreds of meaning in the Quran Majid. But generally, for a very basic level of Muslim, when you say, do you know this ayat? Or do you know these ayat? That means the lines from the Quran Majid. The ayat from the Quran Majid, the verses from the Quran Majid. That's what, basically people they think, but it has got a wider spectrum of meaning in other languages and in Arabic language also. So when it is said to that person, you see, I told you when and then. When you tell him, then he will say, yeah. So then is not there, but it is khala. Khala itself is he said. So when he said, after hearing those ayat, he said, Asatirul Awwaleen, stories of the past. Yeah, Khala is fail madin, perfect word, and Asatir is stories of, is marfu, and Awwaleen, the former people, is majrur. Yeah, now this is once again mudaf and mudafun ilayhi. Stories of. So whenever the of comes, that means it is mudaf and mudafun ilayhi. We have learned this before. Mudaf and mudafun ilayhi. One is a possessed, the other one is a possessor. Okay. Okay. Iza tutla alayhi ayatuna khala Asatirul Awwaleen. When our ayat are recited to him, he says, yeah, the one who hears, he says, the denier, the liar, he says, tales of the former people. We'll see that inshallah. When the ayat, the signs are recited to them, they say these are stories of long past. Even though, if you look at the ayah, Allah says Khala. Khala is he said, but generally it is they also. Such people, that means even though it is for a single, but it is for multiple also. So such people, such people who are mutafifeen, they will say. What do they say? These are the stories of the past. The verb tala, tutla is from the word tala. It's a verb. This has got two masdars. Masdar means the source word, the source from which these derivatives are coming. This has got two sources, masdarain. Yeah, the one is tala yatlu tilawatan. The other one is tala yatlu tilwan, to follow and read. Yeah, tala yatlu tilawatan means to read a line by line. We say tilawat al-Quran. Yeah. So you are reading the Quran Majid, you are reading line by line. You are reading that. This is called tilawa, yeah, or tilawatun. The other one is tala yatlu tilwan. You are following somebody, whether you are following the lines of Quran Majid or you are following somebody, some human being or something. So this is called tala yatlu tilwan. So if you combine this meaning, is to follow and read. Yeah, it has got both the meanings because it applies to the Quran Majid. You are following the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are reading the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So both applies to the Quran Majid or the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So tutla is the plural. Read to them many a times. Whenever these ayahs were revealed to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when Jibreel alayhi salam, he brings an ayah to Rasulullah, what does he do? What was his job? Because the writing came later on. Initially, when these ayat were revealed to Rasulullah, he used to go and recite to the believers as well as the disbelievers. That was his job. And was he reading once, reciting once, and say, okay, I have done my job. I have recited you once, you heard, I'm not going to say that again. No, he did not do that. He was reciting day and night, again and again and again. He was reciting these ayats. So this is the Iza Tutula Alayhi Ayatuna. Our ayats were recited to him. Satir is from the word istar or satar. Yeah, satara means lines. If you draw line by line, you get the rule book. When you are getting a nowadays, writing is slowly, reducing now. People use computers. So old days they used to have registers or notebooks. In the notebooks, there was lines printed. Yeah, on those lines you had to write down. So this is called satar or asati. Yeah, but metaphorically, this is used for the old stories also. In the olden days, like for example, let's take the condition of the Arabs, the Qurayshis, the whole Arabian Peninsula. Hardly 1% and 2% people they could read and write. The rest they could not read and write. So what they used to do every evening, particularly with the menfolk, so they used to put a bonfire or sit down around the fire because the nights were very cold. They were not going for any business during that time. So they used to have stories. Say somebody has gone to Egypt And he will say, oh, I heard the story in Egypt that there were pharaohs and all those, So from chest by chest, they're following. The father was saying, the son is saying, the grandson is now saying the same story. So this is passed on the stories. Whether the stories are real or maybe fabricated, they don't know. But they know it's a very old story. So whenever Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to tell these kuffar, these mushrikan in Makkah, about the signs of Allah, they used to say that no, this is not true. These are all the stories of like children's stories, folk tales, something like that. Yeah. Asatir, like legends. In the old times, they had myths, fables, and mythologies. People would write down stories which are passed on through generation for fun and culture purposes, and people knew that these stories are not true. Seriously, even today, in many religions in the dunya, many big religions and small religions, these stories, over a period of time, it has become a reality. You see, there's something in psychology they say, if you tell somebody a false fact, a false thing, that I did this, I killed a dragon, the dragon came, and after a few generations, many people they believe, oh, my grandfather, he fought with a dragon. Have you seen a dragon, throwing fire from the mouth? And what happens, it becomes a reality. Yeah, my father fought with this, and these are all, they become the legends. If you see some of the films they have made, the drama series they have made, legends of Robin Hood or legends of this Hercules or whatever, there's so many stories are there. And this is asatir. This is asatir. Sometimes the asatir, the old people used to tell youngsters so that there will be some moral education. But ultimately what happens if you tell something lie today, please remember this. And this is also carrying a heavy thing on the day of judgment. If you tell your children or grandchildren something which are lies, and if they stick to that, and if they're following that, on the day of judgment, you have to answer Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why did you tell that lie? People started believing you, and in many religions, they worship also. If you create a big story that this god was there, that goddess was there, this was there, and after some time people say, yeah, it was there. And therefore we are worshipping that god or worshipping that goddess. So these people who are listening to Rasulullah and the Sahaba, they used to say, these is the fables, these are the children's stories, and don't tell us. Or what is this story? On the day of judgment, everybody will be resurrected from their bones. Really? Is it possible? That's not possible. So this is a story. Only your children, they can hear and they clap, when they hear that. So that kind of fun they used to make of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Sahaba, and it is happening today also. This is happening today also. So here in this ayah, the way in which the disbelievers deny the day of judgment is highlighted. They refute a reality, even though this attitude is against the calls of their conscience. They have no argument for this denial. See, deep down, deep down, even the leaders of the Quraysh, the Makkans, and the Arabs, they know Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is not telling lies. They know that because they are the one who gave him the name As-Sadiq, Al-Amin. So they gave him the name. He never said a lie in his life, the first 40 years of life. So therefore, they know it is true. But because of their ego, because of their malpractices, they say, okay, if we say whatever he is telling is true, then what happens? They'll become Muslim, and they don't want to do that. And then they have to stop what bad things they are doing, what sins they are committing. So they had to stop it. They said, no. There's a lot of wealth coming, and we don't want to stop that. So rather, what we'll do, we'll tell him said that, oh, don't tell us this, stories from the past, go away. So instead of responding to reasoning through reasoning, they only express stubbornness regarding the ayat recited out to them to be tales of antiquity. That's what they're doing. This is like a scaring away technique. I said, go away, don't tell us this story. We know, you don't need to tell us what is right and what is wrong. We know very well. This is sheer arrogance. This is the leadership clan, leadership mentality, or many other things, because they are muqtadin and they are asim. That's why they are rejecting it. The word ayat refers to the arguments and reasons which the Quran was informing them to substantiate the day of judgment. These arguments are mentioned in the previous ayat and also in the subsequent. It is coming, continuously coming. If there are 6,000 plus ayat in the Quran and Majid, all of them, they are lines also, they are written in lines. And they're also the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every ayat is telling us something. How do we know? Only if you look at deeply. If you look at the exterior meaning of the ayah and the hidden philosophy and the hidden meaning of the ayah, then if you put these together, then you will understand, yes, in this ayah, this is the message from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to do something or not to do something, to follow something or to discontinue something. Only if you do deeply look into it. You have to do tadabbur and tadakkur. Ponder deeply in the ayah, in context and content, then you'll understand. Then you take admonition from that. You take a moral, you take a lesson and implement into your life. This is the demand of the Quran Majid. There is also a mention of the nations which were destroyed because of denying these warnings. Allah has put many nations. Allah has put, the Pharaoh and his people, Ad, Samud. Allah has given many examples. People of Lut alayhi salam, yeah, people of Nuh alayhi salam. They would deny these warnings by just saying a single sentence. Oh, they are tales of olden times. None of them is worth paying heed to or attention to. That's what. They used to push away Nuh alayhi salam. Go away, go away. They don't want to see his face. They don't want to listen to his voice. So they used to cover their ears. Whenever they see, Nuh alayhi salam, they used to cover their ears. Did it happen to Rasulullah? Yes. Yes. Abu Jahl, he used to tell everyone, put something into yours and block, or put your hands. Don't listen to him, because he has got a magic incantation words. Whenever he recites some words, it will go and deeply penetrate into it. Really? You see, Abu Jahl, he knew the reality. He knew the reality. But he was telling other people, don't listen to this. These are all magic words. This makes him a fajir, making fun of the ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and rejecting them. So they are fujjar, the criminals. No, indeed, the record of the fujjar is in Sijjin, ayat number 1, ayat number 7, because they cheat others. You see, they want to cheat others and make a lot of money. See, many people in this dunya, even good people and bad people, everybody, they have got the same notion. Yeah. If you have a lot of money, money is power. That's what people believe. Make more money, you can have a good house. Make more money, you can have a good car. Make more money, you can give good education to your children. Make more money, you will have all comforts in life. You have a beautiful partner. Everything, when you have a lot of money, is everything. Now, how are you going to earn the money? If you earn from the halal source, first of all, it's very difficult to make money. Yeah? If you have to look after the poor people, give the charity, give the zakat, all those things, you'll never become rich. or it will take really long time. But we don't have patience. So what we do, we want to cheat people and make more money in short time. Yeah, make the more in a short time and become rich person. So now you have got respect in the society. Everybody looks at your house, looks at your status, and they say, wow, I want to be like that person. Look at him. He has got everything, all comfort he has got. And then they say, God has blessed him. On top of that, they say, you see, God has blessed him everything. They deny the day of recompense. Why they're cheating others? Because they don't believe in the akhirah. They don't believe in the accountability. If they believe, they're different people. They won't cheat. They lie against Allah's ayat and say they're false mythological stories. They don't believe it. You know, these are the stories from the past. Don't tell us. You are scaring us. You know, this is what the Ahle Quraysh, you know, the leaders of the Quraysh, they used to tell Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Abu Lahab, Abu Jahl, Akhnas ibn Shurayh, they all used to do this. Same technique. Don't threaten us with the Quran. We are not going to get scared. This is as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Nahl, ayat number 24. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِذَا خِيلَ لَهُمْ مَاذَا أَنزَلَ رَبُّكُمْ خَالُوا أَسَاطِيرُ الْأَوَّلِينَ. And when it is said to them, what is it that your Lord has sent down? They say, tales of the men of old. These are the old stories. It's like, my grandfather, great grandfather has said this story. No, don't repeat this story now. It also means in Surah Furqan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَقَالُوا أَسَاطِيرُ الْأَوَّلِينَ. And they say tales of the ancient, which he has written down, and they dictated to him morning and afternoon. You see, there are so many allegations on Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Many people, they thought there is a jinn, Nauzubillah, and he is the one who is dictating, telling Rasulullah about these lines. They said that these lines are coming from a jinn, not from an angel. That was one of the allegations. And they say that, oh, he is a friend of Ahle Kitab, either people from Bani Israel or from the Christians folks, and they are giving all these stories to him. So there are many allegations on Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And what is the root cause of this evil? Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is explaining ayat number 14. Kalla bal rana ala qulubihim ma kanu yaksibun. No, rather the stain has covered their hearts of that which they were earning. This is a very important ayah. Give full attention and try to understand the ayah, inshallah. Look at the word for word, explanation. The first word is kalla. Now, kalla has come in this, surah more than once, and inna has also come. So therefore, we need to, pay a lot of attention to understand. This kalla is harfu, radi, and zajar. That means it is complete negation, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is shouting at those people who are denying his ayah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is shouting at them. Allah is extremely angry with these people. And Allah is saying, definitely what, rubbish you're talking about. No, that's not the stories from the past. This is my words. This is my signs. So now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, what is the reason? What is the root cause? Bal is but, retraction particle, harfu idrab. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, that's not the reason. The reason is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, Rana ala khulubihim. The stain has covered over their hearts. So we'll go through that, inshallah, the word, Rana. and ala qulubihim, inshallah. So Rana is perfect word, fail madin. Allah is harful jar and khulubi is ism majroor. Yeah, jar majroor construction, and him is there. Yeah, damir muttasil. Once again, khulubihim is hearts of there. That is mudaf and mudafun ilaihi. Part makanu yaksibun. For what they used to earn. Yeah, that is from the kasaba. Yeah, kasaba yaksibun. Now, kasaba is to earn something from your hands. Are you earning from your body parts the wrong things, the sins? Yes. Are you earning something good from your body part? Yes. So, but here, because their hearts are very closed, whatever they are earning is all bad things. It's all the sins. Because he is mu'tadin and asim. Okay, we'll come to that inshallah. Ma is ismul mausul, relative particle. Yeah, ismul mausul, relative particle. Yeah. So whenever there is ismul mausul, there is a silatul mausul. What is the silla? What is the relationship? What is Allah talking about? Kanu yaksibun. They used to earn. So kanu is fail madin, yeah, perfect word, and yaksibun is earn imperfect word. So let's look at the ayah. Kalla bal rana ala khulubihim ma kanu yaksibun. No, rather the stain has covered their hearts of that which they were earning. In this ayah, the Quran Majid has stressed that it is wrong of these foolish people to regard the ayat of the Quran Majid as tales of antiquity. What it is informing them of are undeniable facts, which are evidenced by the world around man and that within him as well as by his intellect. Allah is not saying something which you cannot understand. Allah is not talking about the aliens, somewhere in the media. Allah is not talking about that. Allah is talking about the facts and figures. Things which are inside your body. Things you can visualize, things you can see. You can physically see. Allah is talking about them. They are the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah has created his signs all around you and inside you. Allah says, you want to see my signs? You look into yourself. Look into yourself. And look in the universe, you will see loads of signs. All signs, no. You see many signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can see that. But such is the extent of the rust which has settled on their hearts that not even a speck of truth can pierce it. Rather, we place a rust, that is Ran, on their hearts. You see, as I told you before, that Allah had given a light inside. Every soul, every human being, every son of Adam, they have got a light inside their heart. And this light has got a cover. It has got a shade, the glass shade or whatever type of shade inside our heart, we don't know. But the light used to come outside. When the children do not need external light. They do not need Quran and Sunnah because already there is a natural light inside and this is, coming from inside and the children are masoom, they are innocent, the children. Yeah. When people started committing sins, when they become a little bit older, adolescents, adults, then what happened? They'll have a blackness around this, glass lamp. And when that comes, the light from inside will not come out. The light from outside will not go inside. This is the situation. Yeah. So this is called Ran. Yeah. I'll stop it after this. Ran, a rust imprint that covers their hearts. Sin after sin, sin after sin. So the heart becomes black. We'll go to the hadith in the next class, inshallah, because our time is up. So inshallah, I'm going to go a little bit deeper into the meaning of Rana Allah Qulubi. We'll do that inshallah. Yeah. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilaik.